there's an amazing bill out of Texas. It's a satirical bill, but I think it makes the point. Let me drop this here for free. If you want to see satire, to my bros on the left, this is a great example of satire. Whole different conversation. We'll talk about that later. According to NPR, there is a Texas bill that would fine men's masturbation and set a waiting period for Viagra. So State Representative Jessica Farrar introduced a bill into the Texas House of Representatives on Friday. It would fine men for masturbating. It would allow doctors to refuse to prescribe Viagra. It would require men to undergo a medically unnecessary rectal exam before any elective vasectomy. And it would require men seeking health services to review a pamphlet called A Man's Right to Know with their doctor. It would also require a 24-hour waiting period for men's vasectomies or Viagra prescriptions. The truth of the matter is, this is in response to a bill passed earlier this year that would, in Texas, that would ban wrongful birth lawsuits, which allows parents to sue a doctor if for failing to inform their fetuses, inform them of fetuses' disability. Texas has some pretty draconian laws and movements towards the limitation of women's reproductive rights. And this is in response to that. And it's a beautiful way to demonstrate the absurdity of it, the double standard of it, the intrusion that men, generally men, mostly men, give the federal government, right? They give the federal government this long-reaching arm into the life, the private medical care life of women. And the best way to demonstrate it is to say, if the tables were turned, apples for apples, men would lose their mind. Well, I mean, there's no way in the world any man would support this stuff. I'm sure you could find some evangelical, but still, I'm not talking about the outlier. I'm talking about normal human beings. But this is the kind of reach that we're giving the federal government into the lives of women. And I love this hypocrisy, right? The juxtaposition of this hypocrisy, because it can't be overstated. In every respect, the federal government or conservatives are always on the side of liberties and freedoms and get government out of your life and get government out of your finances. But when it comes down to the private health care of women and decisions that they make with their doctors, they are all for the maximum intrusion. And so this bill, the satirical bill, I think it illustrates the hypocrisy brilliantly, because not a single man on earth, the reasonable man, would want the government, state or federal, having this type of intrusive capacity through the force of law. But yet they would turn around and vote for this type of intrusive capacity through the force of law when it intrudes on the lives of women. Here to Jessica Farrar.